Hi guys and welcome to another video here on the EGL channel. This time, unfortunately for all of you watching, you're going to be watching some of my gameplay, but I thought it was relevant. I thought it was bad, but I also thought it was relevant just after everything that's happened with the patch and stuff. So I didn't initially do a video on the patch because it came out and I was pretty busy and I was away. And I just basically didn't have a chance to record one, and then the patch was dropped, everybody else had done a video, so I thought, well, there's not really a great deal of point. Now, since then, though, there has been some changes, and, you know, I've got to grips with that. I've been playing on the Pro Series Mosh Pit playlist, the one that's there before League Play, just in preparation for League Play coming out today, actually. By the time this video is up, it should be out, so I'll be there grinding with you guys, but just wanted to talk about the patch. We're going to run through some of the relevant weapon changes. I'm not really going to go through too much other than weapons because that's what this video is about. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's just go with the ARs first. So first and foremost, the Rampart received a buff. It increased max damage from 37.6 yards to 41.6 yards. It's not that much. It's only, what, 4 yards of damage, max damage range, I should say, for the Rampart. It's not going to be relevant. I think, you know, its range was never really the issue. I think a fire rate increase for this gun would be something that potentially does increase its usage. Of course, at this moment in time, it's only really used to get rid of streaks such as the sniper's nest sort of thing. And I think that's probably where we're only going to really see it. I don't really see the Rampart coming into things with this balance change coming in for the weapons. KN57 increased max range, damage range from 15.2 yards to 17.3. Same sort of thing as the Rampart. Has a little bit more potential, as it was always okay. I've seen it being ran a little bit in some 10s and stuff, just for players trying to get used to it, of course, before what we're about to talk about in a second. But yeah, I just think that it's not necessarily going to be used so much. I think it has potential, but not that much. Now, the Vapor received an increased 5-hit kill range from 34.7 yards to 50 yards, and improved ADS idle to sway less. Now, that's a pretty big jump up for the Vapor, actually, and it's actually pretty decent. But again, it just struggles up close and personal when it comes to against guns like the SOG and against guns like the Maddox. I think, you know, it would have had potential had it not happened what happened to the Maddox last night. Now, it seems that, actually, quickly, let's run through the change that they said was made in the patch notes. So, the Maddox. Reduced recoil stability in first 5 shots in bullet pattern. Echo fire operating 1, doesn't matter about that. Quick draw, reduced ADS speed. Quick draw 2, reduced ADS speed. Stock, reduced ADS movement speed. ELO, reduced recoil stability, and console only, reduced max damage from 23.6 to 20.8. So they've murdered, well, they haven't murdered it, but they've took the damage and the range down. They've dropped the ADS movement speed. They've reduced the ADS in speed. Put more recoil on the first 5 shots. So I mean, it immediately looked like a really, really harsh going on to the Maddox. But last night, it seems as if a hotfix has come in. And the only thing I can presume they've done is done all of these things to this gun. Because initially when it was being tried to be used, there was a lot of pros talking about it, saying it's not really usable anymore, it's not that great, it doesn't really have much of range anymore, and it's not very good. But then a lot of people started piping up on Twitter and sort of saying, look, I think there's been a quick fix or something like that, because everything seems to have been settled down a little bit and the gun's still pretty good. Now, this is not the chat I was hearing. You know, a lot of people were saying it's going to change to a Vapor, and we had rated on Spitfire, and he was on about it changing to maybe a KN or a Vapor and an ICR rather than having so many Maddox and having more SOGs, because, I mean, the SOG didn't get punished much. But there seems to have been a rethink on this one, whether it be intentional or not, but basically, oh, by the way, kid's shooting my body here. Not what you want to see. But realistically, it seems to have been changed. So what I can presume, since the fact that they haven't actually released any extra patch notes to say they've changed anything, although we know that Tryout can sometimes be a little bit slow, I presume that they've done all of these things they've said. So reduced recoil stability in first 5 bullets, quick draw and quick draw 2 is being nerfed in terms of ADS in speed, stock reduced down, ELO's recoil stability is being reduced, max damage range is being reduced as well. What I can presume is that they've still done all these things but just toned it back a little bit, so it made a couple little changes to this gun. Now, it hasn't really affected my gameplay. I'm still tragic with it, as I am fully a SOG player. But yeah, it feels okay from when I played with it this morning a little bit. It doesn't feel too bad, you know. I mean, the pros will know better than me what it feels like But realistically, the gun didn't really feel that bad. I think, you know, one of the main things I noticed, I don't think the recoil stability being reduced on the first 5 shots is actually that bad. I feel as if it still shoots pretty straight from the rip. So, I mean, again, not with my shooting, but yeah, that's the relevance of this title, of the gameplay obviously coming in here as well. I want to show you the Maddox in action if you haven't had a chance to use it ahead of League play coming out today. But it seems to be back to where it is. Now, let's talk about the submachine guns, and then I'm going to go back to the whole topic of the Maddox. So, submachine guns, the MX9 increased 5 kill hit range from 5.5 yards to 7.6, so increased the range. Improved ADS speed. Yeah, it's not what it needs though. The range is not the issue, it's the speed. Nothing can beat the speed up close and personal of the Spitfire. The GKS increased 5 kill hit range from 2.7 to 5.5. Again, that's a pretty big damage increase in terms of range for the GKS there, but again, that's not where the Spitfire excels. This is making these guns more all-rounders rather than maybe combating against the Spitfire, which is king of up close. Now, it was with the Spitfire, what they have changed, and it's still the best SMG, I will say that. Sorry, this is the Spitfire we're looking at here, not the SOG. Of course, what we're talking about, the SOG, which is still the king. So the Spitfire, I should say, sorry, has had its self-nerfed a little bit as well. But let's talk about the SOG, what they did about it. So they reduced sprint out speed, they reduced base movement speed with the SOG, they reduced the ADS move speed on stock 1 and stock 2, reduced the recoil stability on grip, and then they've finally done with the dual wield, which we don't really care about. But as I said, the SOG is easily the best SMG still. It's because it drops people up close and does what an SMG should do up close. However, you know, the rest of them seem to be sort of hybrid between an AR and an SMG, especially the JKS. It's got a pretty decent range, as does the MX9. The Spitfire, I said, that was the only other one that was really there, but that one has actually been nerfed as well. So if they're wanting people to not be using the SOG, they need to keep the Spitfire where it was at. The Spitfire was doing alright, but the SOG for me, still absolutely the best. I don't think that's going to change at all. You know, the SOG seems to be good, and it's in a good spot. Let's not lie. Quickly, just going to go over the tactical rifles. Now, they've buffed these quite a bit over the past few patches, so I don't know if it's a thing that they really want everybody to start using them. I think that might be the case, that they want to see their tactical rifles used a lot more. What I will say is that they do seem better. You know, one gun I've really felt that's really overpowered actually when I've been using it, specifically in S&D online, is the Ogre. I mean, this thing received an increased ADS move speed and an increased firing speed, and something to the operator mod, which we're not too concerned about, of course, because they are banned. But yeah, it's made the gun a lot more viable, and honestly, it's the increase of firing speed is what really has done the damage here. It can drop people in 3 shots, and those 3 shots come out quick. So if you can get them nailed on into the body, I mean, it's even 3 shots to the leg. So this thing drops people real fast. So it wouldn't surprise me to maybe potentially see that be used at some point. Same with the ABR and the Swordfish. They've sort of received the same sort of buffs, increased ADS movement speed on both of them, improved sprint out speed on the ABR. You know, they really want us to use these basically. The Swordfish specifically has looked pretty good with Quick Draw 2. That's how it's improved ADS as well. So the Swordfish has become a little bit more viable in terms of snapping onto people, that sort of thing. Of course, as a turret gun, it's great. You know, you post somebody up on a head glitch or something like that, and it's a great spot to be in. But realistically, these guns still potentially could be used. They keep buffing them, so it wouldn't surprise me to see some of them. But the thing I wanted to talk about mostly in this video today was the fact that Slasher tweeted out last night saying, look, I mean, why do we want the Maddox to be so good? Why do we need a gun that can do it all? You know, the Maddox is good up close, it's good at range. There's a lot of different reasons people who use so many Maddoxes have done in the past and probably will continue to do. It's because it's a good all-round weapon. Now, he said that he doesn't really think we should have that all-round weapon. I mean, I'm just going to bring his tweet up of exactly what he said, because I fully agreed with what he said. He goes on to say, sorry, I'll get this tweet up and say it. So, Slasher says, a do-it-all gun should not be a thing. Am I the only one who thinks this? Having to be smart with your weapon increases the skill gap. And also, I run a Maddox, so there's literally no bias here, but nobody even knew what the meta would be after they played with this new patch for day 1. So the decisions made nowadays are questionable. Game needs to be more punishing for bad players. I absolutely agree. You know, I don't think there should be a gun like the Maddox in there. Yes, it's good for all situations, and you know, you're never really going to be caught out. whoever's got the best shot is going to win, that sort of thing, but it does a lot. It's good up close. It's good at range. It shouldn't really be the case. You know, the SOG is in, for me, a good place because it is unbeatable for the most part up close and personal. Then you put a typically good AR that is good at range up close against the SOG, such as your Swordfishes, your ICRs. These are guns which will dominate the SOG at range, as it should, but up close will suffer. And I feel that's how it really should be. You know, this is one of the things that I feel, for me, should be the case. I think the Maddox should have received the nerf that it should have done, and it did get. It seems to have been reverted. I don't know if I personally agree. I think for me, I would have liked to see, you know, it stay where it is, and then we concentrate on maybe using some of these longer range ARs in the AR battles and the SMGs win the SMG battles. It should be that consistency there. You shouldn't be able to run a gun that can, you know, win these at range gun battles in the hands of somebody good, not so much me. And then you should have the SMGs which are winning these up close and personals and shouldn't be able to win these long range gun battles. Like, it just feels like we've got a hybrid of the two, and I absolutely agree with Slasher that I do not think that should be the case. There's the end of the game anyway, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe as well. Leave your thoughts below on what you think of the patch 2 and whether you think the Maddox has actually been changed or has it not. Let's find out as we see the pros continue to use it. We're going to watch the rest of Division B and see what they're using next week. It'll be a good indicator to where this patch is. I'll see you in the League Play servers. Guys, thank you for watching the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.